Damn it.
I feel like I should get off camera just so this could be like Chair Stream 2018. There we go. Welcome to Chair Stream, guys. Tonight's Hero Power, no hosts. New format, no hosts.
An hour for the pod. I don't know how long.
What up, chat? Who's out there? Sound off. Thought we'd try this Chair Stream 2018.
It's pretty epic.
Hero Power with no hosts. Maybe our best show ever.
So, did you guys see what happened when I cast the end of the? I cast Andrew versus Ridiculous Hat, and I forgot to turn my stream off when I went to bed.
No.
And so, like, I was getting Twitter messages where they're like, "Rod, you left the stream on." It wasn't even my stream. I was streaming from Andrew's stream.
Oh no.
And so, like, he comes back and he's like, I get messages. They're like, "Rod, you didn't stop the stream." I was like, "Damn it," because it was past my bedtime 1 and 2. I had a scotch, and I was like, so there was 2 reasons for this happening: scotch and
yeah.
You're lucky. You're lucky that, or he's lucky that Twitch didn't. They banned people for that before.
Oh, have they really?
It's usually been like a day or two once they figure out what's going on. But
it was like 10 minutes or 5 minutes,
Yeah.
so it was enough that like people had messaged me and let me know. So do you guys usually? Should I have the client up or any of that stuff, or?
Not until we go into the second portion of the show.
Okay.
When you go to play the deck.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Then I don't need anything else right now. Do you guys? You guys don't need me to record on my end or anything?
Have I got you friended?
I thought you did from the from
when you
Virsica thing.
Yeah.
Match. Yeah, I'm online. I'm just not in the game.
Okay.
So,
I just want to make sure I can spectate you. Yeah. There you are.
Yeah,
You're good.
I'm on.
We're good.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, I also haven't played all that much this season because it's been the meta and then just
That's horrible. Yeah.
that and it's been UHL. I mean, you guys were talking about how much practice and prep Virsica's putting in. I'm not putting that much prep in, but I'm putting in lots, enough. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember following kind of you back when you just went as Iron Akeda.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the Rod Johnston was Ion Akeda until maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah, and that was part of the thing. Spivey was giving me crap one day, and he goes, "You need to consolidate this stuff." And my Twitter, I literally started on Twitter in February of 2009 or something.
Yeah.
So I've been on it forever, and that was just my name. So I was like, I'm just gonna make it all this because no one could ever say the name and or they always question the name. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna make it my name, and it sounds like a dick joke, but it's not. And so,
well, I realized that you and I had been in the same circles.
Yeah,
and I just didn't associate.
Yep.
The different circles I was in with Rod Johnston.
Mm-hmm.
I was when at one point you mentioned Ion Akeda. I'm like, oh, okay.
And that's
I know who he is. We've written into the same shows and had both of our names spoken on the same shows. So okay.
I mean, this community, especially with the casters, is pretty tight. So it is bound to happen as long as you're not the angry chicken. You're so.
Hey, I have my respect for the Angry Chicken. They're good people. They set the bar. They set the bar.
That wasn't a shot at them. It was a. They are so damn big.
Right.
Oh yeah, they set the bar.
It's not even a comparison for the rest of us fools. It's like they're playing Major League Baseball and we're in the little leagues. I mean, everyone.
That's true.
We all do these awesome shows, but it's like they're just on a whole nother level. It's like one of those things where they're just like, I mean, their patrons pay for all their. I mean, that's their full-time jobs and everything.
Yes,
so it's
exactly.
I think they're the only show that can get away with a per episode Patreon.
Yeah, and but they do. I mean, like I know Joss does like 5 podcasts, and Willie.
They all do.
Yeah, so
he started on the instance. Yeah,
it's one of those things. It's funny, like these people from that kind of thing. I've gotten to know more of these people, and I keep trying to get to know Kick Tripod a little more, just because he's in Denver. But like that dude is so busy, it's not even funny.
Well, with his job situation, the way it happened, he kind of had to go full ham into content creation and podcasts, and he's busy.
Dude, that Owl Daily he does is friggin' awesome, though.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm watching. I have it on the side right now because like the 2 teams I kind of like are playing, like my American team, the Shock, and then my Korean team, the Spitfire. So,
you're a San Francisco fan.
I got recruited. So that's what happened. It happened like, so my friend, I think you guys probably know him too, Drunken Monk. He's in the community. He's around here. He lives like 20 minutes away from me, and he kind of recruited me. And he's like, you have to be a Shock fan. So.
I'm loving the Gladiators. They're
not having a good time right now, are they?
They did well their first week. I think they still lost, but it was really close.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of promise.
Yeah. That's a lot of these teams. I mean, some of these teams have like the kids are under 18, and stuff like that, which are major problems right now. So.
Well, no, I think they have to be 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is they can't play. Like some of the
some of the really good players are not eligible.
The Shock's best player can't play yet, so it's stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And you guys get to hear my parrot as she makes a appearance. So
we are doing the podcast from the jungle.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, dude, it's one of those things where Blister guy makes fun of me because he's like, what do you like in Australia? But no, she makes lots of appearances on the podcast. So
because she does not fun of you. He's the one
dude.
Literally on the show the other night was a flock of seagulls or something.
It was a type of parrot. Yeah,
he loves making fun of me. He was like, or giving me crap. He was on the. He did a whole episode because he came into my stream and I was confused about a deck, and he's like, you have to change your expectations and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, come on, man. But everyone loves messing with me. I'm not sure you guys have seen the whole Ben Reddington messing with me on a regular basis now, too.
Yeah,
no, I've been following the
Ben Reddington likes to mess with people. He has messed when he beat us in Sylvanas League and THL. He's messed with us, but we're about ready to go live, right?
Okay, I'm ready. I got my notes up on my second monitor, so I'm good from that. I think we're good.
All right, then.
Is the crawler right? The crawler's right.
Pretty sure the crawler's right.
It's. Oh, you mean like under my name or?
Nope. Yeah, it's right.
Okay.
You had the crawler wrong. Was it last week?
Last week, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2. And welcome to Hero Power. I am your host, Avantes. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang?
And since Virsica couldn't win his match, he has been replaced by the Rod Johnston.
I don't have enough podcasting of my own, so I've decided to kick Virsica out of Hero Power and claim the throne. It is this podcasting game is not for the weak, and
that's right.
You lose your 3 UHL games. It's just
you're done. You're done.
Done. It's our illustrious orange president would say. You're fired.
That's right. No, Virsica is on vacation with his family while we are slaving away behind these hot microphones. He is toes in the sand, beer in his hand in the Bahamas. So we hope he has a good vacation, and we'll slap it to him next week when he comes back.
Don't envy him. Don't envy him too much. It's probably a peach flavored beer. So
his main concern this morning was, is 8 a.m. Too early to start drinking beer? And I'm like, is the great song "It's 5 o'clock somewhere" mean anything to you, Virsica? Come on.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so anyway, welcome, Rod. Glad to have you on the show, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys. You guys are one of the premier communities around, and it's a great honor to be hanging out with you guys for the evening. So,
thanks. That's huge compliments coming from you. It's we consider us like a tier 2 podcast, and we just thought we'd have a little bit of tier 5 up with us.
It's you always need some togwaggle into your podcast, and that is what I'm here to bring, a togwaggle to the equation. So
I love togwaggle. We'll go on forever if we get to talk about togwaggle.
Oh yes.
Okay. So, all right. Well, got a lot to cover this week in the news section. It was a busy weekend, and got quite a bit to talk about. And then during the play portion of the show, Rod has brought one of the decks he used in the UHL last week, and so we're going to give it a shot, play best 2 out of 3 on the ladder with it here in a little while later, so stay tuned for that. But first, Rod, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into Hearthstone and how you got into podcasting?
So Hearthstone, I was actually I was given my first free taste by my co-host Adam at like the beginning of 2015. So that was before the grand tournament.
First taste is always free.
Yep, exactly. It was, I'm going to be a free-to-play player. Oh, that worked out really well for everyone. It was like, I don't know how many dollars later, and I'm not free-to-play anymore.
From free-to-play to free-to-pay.
Yes, exactly. Until I'm buying too many packs because I have to craft things like Togwaggle and Archbishop Benedictus and things like that. So I started off free to play, playing stuff like Mech Mage and Zulok. So Zulok was one of my first like really fun decks I loved a lot. It kind of went in there, and I was one of those things where I was talking about it with Dan on the Hearth Coach 3-year anniversary the other night. We both have really bad ADD. So like I would play a deck for like 5 minutes and then switch out and play another deck, and kind of like I was never super serious. It would be like, oh, I want to try this deck and I want to try this deck and I want to try this deck. And that went on for a while until I started getting Golden Heroes. I started, getting a little more serious with the game. And eventually, like right after Mean Streets came out, I almost hit like rank 1 2 stars. I think is what my highest was that month. And I promptly fell back down to rank 7, which before the floors. So then I was like, maybe I need to be serious about this game. And so then I started being serious. I started joining communities. Like I started listening to Hearthstone podcasts a lot at that point. You guys included, but like it was before that I had like casually listened to Angry Chicken, and that was about all. So I went in and started joining communities, 1600 Dust, you guys, Hearth Coach, all these things, and I just completely like dove into the community. So when Ungoro came out this year, I ended up joining in the 1600 Dust open tournament they had, and I won their first tournament, which led to me being on the podcast for like that week. And when my co-host Adam heard that, he was like, fine, let's do a podcast. Because I had been bugging him to do a podcast with me before that point. And so then we started kind of thinking what we wanted to do and how we wanted to approach it. And about like 2 months later, we put out our first episode. We had done a test episode right before that just kind of went out to people like Chris and Spivey from 1600 Dust, Tell and Cream Puff from Top Deck Kings. Tell doesn't do Top Deck Kings anymore, but just some other ones I had gotten to know. And they gave us a bunch of tips, and then we went live after that. So it was a lot of 2017 was just a crazy year for me with that stuff. So
that's really amazing, because you and I kind of have a similar story, where my podcast tournament and first guest spot was on A Worthy Opponent, and my Adam was Avanti's. Said, hey, you did good in that podcast, and we were thinking about doing a podcast, and we kind of got our wheels going with that. Used Legend of the Innkeeper to kind of springboard us, and so it's neat how the similarities in our stories lead to two great podcasts, and the Hero Power and then Tier 5.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's I love doing it. I love it so much, and it doesn't matter how long my week is and what is going on. It's a release, especially when I'm sitting in a cubicle all week, not getting to be creative, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's one of those things where I'm just like, it's my creative release. I mean, I was doing 2 podcasts like from the get-go almost immediately, because I was doing a movie podcast with Tell from Top Deck Kings, and then he ended up having a baby and quit podcasting, so I'm down to 1, but now I just steal Virsica's job and go from there. So.
There you go. You know, it's funny. I told you last night as we were kind of talking about, prepping for today for the show, and I do a lot of tournament organization for Hearthstone, and one of the things I get to do, or I've gotten to do, I've been fortunate to do the last couple of years, is travel out to Blizzard headquarters for an annual Innkeeper Summit.
Yeah.
And it was funny because right about the time that Summit happened, you guys were really just getting your feet under you and started going. And all I had heard from other people in the community was, you got to check out Tier 5. You got to check out Tier 5. It's this new podcast. They do a really good job. So I actually downloaded the first 3 episodes and listened to you guys while I was flying cross country. And I was like, okay, I got to check out the competition while I'm in the air,
It's you guys have certain advantages over me. Like you guys have like non-potty mouths a lot of the time. I go off of there's
on the show.
On the show.
So there's a explicit warning on the podcast that is, I think, 100% from me. I don't think Adam's ever said anything bad on the podcast. He's a good old Catholic boy, but I just think it tends to be that like I end up being myself more that way, and just it ends up making, I think, a more natural feeling show, right? Like that, right? So it's one of those things where we've offended people at times, and I don't try to, and it's been goofy stuff, but we've kind of learned our lessons and moved into something that I think everyone can enjoy most of the time,
Yeah. So, Well, if you guys haven't, go check out Tier 5. It's a great podcast. You guys record once a week, right?
Yep, we're Tuesday nights. So it's usually out by like it's early AM on the East Coast. So
Yeah.
I mean, because we're both in Denver, so I end up posting it around like 11 o'clock,
Which is about 1 a.m. our time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sometimes when we have guests, it comes out a little earlier, but we're pretty consistent, which is one of those things I think it's made the podcast go over so well is because we're on that schedule, which you guys know. If you're on a weekly schedule, you put it out the same day every week. It really helps the flow of everything, right?
So here's a podcasting secret for all of you listening and watching at home. They say content is king, but in actuality, consistency is king. If people know where to find you at the same time every week, you're gonna do okay. So,
as long as you have something that's at least a little unique, and you're not alienating people who are in your community or who are trying to listen to you or whatever. Yeah, I think it's completely true. You're going to grow and embrace the community if you do that, and it really helps. Otherwise, just like you said, consistency is like the number one thing. And like my wife has told me multiple times, she's like, well, can we do this on Tuesday night? And I'm like, well, no, I got a podcast. She's like, well, can't you do that some other day? And I'm like, no, because consistency is what's matter. Even Adam doesn't understand that sometimes. He's like, well, you just want to record on Wednesday night? I'm like, no. I'll record Monday night. I'll record Sunday night. I'll record Tuesday night. But we're putting out a podcast by Tuesday.
Yeah. It took my wife about 1.5 years to realize Wednesday nights were off limits for just about anything. And then I started the second podcast, the Innkeeper podcast, and we're doing it. We started it on Monday nights, and then at the start of 2018, we shifted to Tuesday nights. And it's like my son has karate on Tuesday night. So his class is from 7:30 to 9, but on Tuesday nights, he gets out 30 minutes early because I have to be home in time to podcast.
Yeah.
It's a bug, man. It's a real bug. I mean, this is my 4th podcast of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you've got a really busy week this week. I saw your schedule on Twitter.
It's been busy, man. I did the Hearth Coach thing like you guys on Monday night. My brother started up the podcast that was being discussed about Hearthstone podcast, the Daring Reporter.
Yes.
So that's my little brother. So I did an interview with them Monday night, and then my own podcast Tuesday night, and then this. So I've been busy.
Yeah, Daring Reporter's another one you guys should check out. They're doing a really good job. If Roe's not careful, he could be out of a job.
Well, it's only fair. It's only fair because Roe is coming after our jobs anyways. You guys know he's starting his own Hearthstone podcast. So, like, all's fair in love and war and podcasting.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, let's kind of jump into some of the news for this week. We do have our UHL Virsica recap for you, even though Virsica's not here. So last week, after we recorded the show on Thursday night, he played Rod, and we were able to shoutcast that. We were fortunate enough to get a great caster in Frid to offset the other caster we had, Zeroshio.
Yeah.
Which, it's a funny thing because anytime you get Zeroshio on with Frid, Zeroshio just kind of locks up. It's hilarious because Frid was really one of the guys that got Zeroshio to where he is today.
Yeah. It's true. It's very true. I wouldn't have gotten Legend the first time, which solidified myself as a quote-unquote expert for the show. Yeah. And gave me the knowledge. Also, him and I kind of come from the same background where we've competed in a worthy opponent, except he's had accolades of competing at Pinnacle and actually hitting that stride on the pro scene. and he's a very good friend. I love him to death.
Yeah.
But he intimidates me, scares me, and I don't ever. He's like my sensei. I don't ever want to let him down, and that every time I'm around him, I'm so afraid he's gonna, think I'm doing something wrong or say something wrong because I respect him so much.
Yeah.
And I will always look up to Fred. He's such a great person.
He's a cool dude, and it just makes me laugh because some of the people I've like looked up to the most in my life have been like people like comedians. And my wife and I, when we first moved to Colorado, we drove up from Colorado Springs to see a comedian I really liked named Jim Norton. A really funny guy, and my wife laughs at me to this day because we met him afterwards, and I was just like, I put my foot in my mouth. I'm like, it's nice to know, and she was just laughing at me. She's like, "You're an idiot," and it was because the guy is so funny, and it means a lot to me. Like, I don't know, I like making jokes, as you'll hear if you ever listen to Tier 5. Mm-hmm. I'm a goofball, and so like those are the kind of guys I end up looking up to a lot. So I understand where you're coming from, Zerofio. I do believe.
Yeah.
So,
and I've had the luxury of meeting Fred in person, and it didn't change anything. He's still. I respect him so much, and I'd hate to have him look poorly on me, even for something as trivial as a play. Analyzing a play in a match.
But you guys did a great job. Did you get a chance to watch our side of the cast with them? I
did. I actually watched it the next morning because I knew you guys had Fred doing it with you, and I'm like, I gotta listen to this. And the games were all pretty like interesting and close, and so I was like, I want to hear this, and I just wanted to see it from your guys' perspective, and it was super entertaining. And Fred's just so smart with the game, and. He often is like really soft spoken and doesn't like, he'll let Dan be Dan. Dan's a goofball like me. So, but you like, if he goes and gets to talk about things, he's super intelligent with the game. I mean, it's like when he pointed out some little mistakes I made, and I was like, I realized afterwards. So
yeah. So
he's also extremely funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta catch him.
And again, it's one of the things that makes Hearth Coach so good is that Dan is over the top Dan, and like Fred is just like the dry humor kind of thing, right? But it's one of those things where I think sometimes he's funny, and I think he takes advantage of like just Fred with his little bit of an accent, and I think he says things in Fred voice, and it's just like because he knows they're going to be funnier, right? So
yeah. So let's talk about your match a little bit with Virsica real quick. I gotta ask, what went through your head when that Holy Wrath went off?
You could go look at I told Virsica specifically the next day, I was like, go watch my like Twitch cast of the game because I lost my freaking mind. I was like, what the hell is going on? And it made me laugh so hard, and I'm like, this is why people love Virsica, because he does this, and just like I think Virsica brought it up on your guys' show last week, and he's like, yeah, you go and watch Rod after it, and he goes, or whenever it was with your guys' interview with Hearth Coach. He brought it up real quick, and I'm like, there's no way I had put like that spell on a taunt, like a 5/5
to resummon it.
Yeah, and he goes, I said specifically, there's no way he's going over top. I was like, he's got to kill this. I'm fine. And then he holy wraths me, and I lose my mind. I'm like, Virsica, that's evil genius right there. That is.
And Leroy's got jump.
Yeah.
He went right over the top.
Oh man, I was like, that's Dr. Wiley level crap right there, man.
The thing about Virsica, and this is why we love him so much on our show, is it's not about the quantity of wins with Virsica. It's the quality of his losses.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where I want to win these matchups, but I don't want to bring all aggro every week, and why I think is going to give someone like Ridiculous had a completely unfair advantage in the long term, because that man is ruthless. He will like throw his mom in front of a devil sword, a charging devil sword to win a game. So it's like
he's done it. I've seen him do it. So I'm in THO with him. He's my captain, and Yeah, he's relentless when it comes to aggro.
Well, it was funny because I casted his match with Andrew week 2, and like it was 15 minutes for 5 games. Like it was pure aggro burn, and he beat Andrew like 3-1. But it was like this. I was sitting there with Daniel. His Storm Rage. His is the Twitter handle that people might know if you're in the Twitter community at all. He does a podcast called Blizzlet, but he was shoutcasting with me, and he showed up like he missed the first match, and he was only on it for like 12 minutes. Like it was so short. It was like, holy crap! We didn't see a rope for like 4 games. So
yeah, but so yeah, you ended up taking that 3-1, right? Yeah.
It was one of those things where I have a practice partner who has been helping me, and he's actually given me 2 of my crazier decks I brought. Apex Predator. He's been
Apex is one of our patrons, so we're very familiar with Apex.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. He gave me at week 1. I brought a Cthulhu Quest Warrior deck that he gave me.
Wow.
And then this week he brought against Virsica. He gave me that Shaman deck, which was the Overload Shaman deck. And so he's been helping me prepare because it's bringing those decks on ladder is not a good idea a lot of the time. So it's because you wanna be able to test in very specific environments. And I was actually kind of surprised because I didn't think Virsica was going to bring that aggro of a lineup as he did. So it was kind of I was like, oh no, he's going to run me over. And luckily I stabilized. He didn't draw cards very well most of that series, but
yeah,
it's one of those things. That's what's so fun about UHL. It's the playing Hearthstone with friends and like crazy games and
right. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Virsica had to get this week's match in before he left for vacation. So he and Andrew Brown from Happy Hearthstone played yesterday. And unfortunately, they had to play early, which meant I wasn't off work to record the stream. So Andrew streamed it on his channel, and it was not pretty, but
I saw the score, and that's all
Andrew
I saw.
won 3-0 over Virsica. Again, he didn't draw real great. His RNG draws were not good, but that's part of Hearthstone. And we've told Virsica, Virsica keeps echoing to us he wants to represent Hero Power well, and I keep telling him I just want him to go out and have fun. Yeah. As long as he's having fun, that's what's important about UHL.
None of these people in this league are going to look down on you for losing. It's one of those things where you can be your mad scientist Virsica, and you keep hearing Andrew talking about it. He talked about it on his podcast before they played each other this week. He said he was more scared of Virsica than anyone else because of his crazy decks. And so it's interesting seeing what kind of crazy shit. I mean, I still laugh at him bringing Daring Reporter week 1. That was such a cool tech.
Yes.
So it's one of those things, man, where he had the same thing happen to him week 1 as I did. I lost to Bed Reddington of Dad Legend week 1. I was up 2-1 against Ben, and I couldn't win with Jade Druid, and Virsica couldn't win with his Shaman deck, and it was just like, it's not fun. So,
but unlike your match, Hat hasn't said anything else to him, and Ben Reddington hasn't let you forget it.
Yep, exactly. Ben won't let me forget it, and so he lost week 2 to Spivey. So I've been harassing him. I'm like, oh, look who's in 3rd place in the league. Oh wait, it's not you, Ben. You're behind me. So
nice. So, all right. Well, there was another small tournament this past weekend. I don't know if maybe you guys saw it on or something. Just a small, small indie game company was running a small indie tournament in, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So we finally got to have the 2017 HCT World Championships in 2018.
It's very weird, right?
Yeah, that whole shift into the new year to accommodate this.
You know, before we go any further, I understand that, and people are all like, "Oh, 2017, 2018." Doesn't the NFL do that?
Yeah.
they do.
So I mean, it's not so far fetched. So I don't know why people are, freaking out about it.
I think the real big difference, and I don't know how much this really changed things, but it did. It affected things. But the whole, like last year, they had the World Championship at BlizzCon, and they had one expansion and one adventure, right? So this year they had it in January after 3 full expansions, including the last expansion of the year. So that was the big difference, right? It was hard to watch a lot of it just because of the hours it was on, but it was a lot of really, really high played Hearthstone.
It was, and let's give a rundown. So our top 8 finalists for the World Championships were Doc Pone, Jason Joe, Centilal, Frozen, Samuel Sal, Tom 60229, Surrender, and Stan Udachi.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a veritable who's who of Hearthstone pros.
Yeah.
And then Doc Pone.
But Doc really made his name in 2017.
Yeah. The only name on here I'd never heard of before really was the Centilol. Like he was the only one who
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Centilol is a German streamer that I've actually followed for a couple of years now. I've actually been a subscriber to his Twitch channel.
Okay.
He's a pretty high level player.
A deck builder.
And a deck builder. I kind of put him up there along the lines of like Oskaka.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, one of the things that you'll figure out, like, you guys are still like Eastern time. I'm Mountain time at this point. It starts being really hard for me to get behind European streamers a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I will often watch Tice when I'm getting ready for work in the morning, but by the time, like, and then sometimes I watch Asmodee when I'm going to bed a lot of the times, but it's hard for me to catch a lot of these European streamers, and so I know these names, but I think he had been not known for tournament scenes before that last year, right? The guy we're talking about,
Centilal. Yeah, he'd played in a few. It was mostly like Seat Story Cup and DreamHack.
Yeah.
So this was, I think, really his first big major run in the HCT.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually in a Discord with Centilal, and I get to talk to him occasionally, very briefly, but he's a good guy. I was actually kind of pulling for him. Unfortunately, he ended up getting knocked out, and our final 4 of the tournament ended up being Jason Joe from China, which is really not a surprise to anybody that knows him.
Yeah.
Frozen, which, again, not really a surprise. Tom 60229, again, a staple player from the Asia-Pacific region. And Surrender, who is also from the APAC.
Yeah,
so
he was the Korean who he kind of appeared on the scene last year also.
Yeah.
I think they were saying he had like the longest HCT winning streak like ever or something like that, or close to ever.
Yeah,
he was
he had won like 13 straight matches or something.
Which is insane if you think about it. At that level of Hearthstone, he's playing the top players in the world, and winning 13 matches in a row is nuts.
Yeah,
it's nuts. And that guy was a character, man. Like every time he's sitting there like covering up his face and doing all this stuff during games, and he was some of these players are just funny, man. You guys are the guy who talks to his hat all the time. You know who I'm talking about? Oh,
yeah, I do. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
I remember
about.
who you're talking. The great thing about Surrender is he is so passionate. He's on team. Was it Planet Odd with Hoy, and he told Hoy at the Winners Championship, or the Summer Championship, that he wanted to win it, so there wasn't a chance of them being in the same bracket together. And he ended up winning that out of just. I believe his matchups were really one-sided, and he wasn't expected to win that set, but he out of his just pure determination he won. And when I saw this Final Four, I really wanted him to do well. There is one thing to point out, though, is while the European contingency actually had the largest percentage of players in the World Championship, not one player made it into the final four.
Into the final four, because Stan Udachi made it in the top 8. But yeah.
Sorry, it makes me smile because the Europeans are so smug, and they're like always like making fun of the North American Hearthstone scene, and they're like, "Oh, you Americans are so bad at Hearthstone, and I could jump on the North American server and get legend in a day, and blah blah blah." And it's
What's amazing is they were playing this in Amsterdam, so there's no real excuse for jet lag or uncomfortability. They had home field advantage,
exactly.
And they just didn't perform. Now, a lot of that is, so a lot of people are speculating that a lot of the Europeans have the same type of meta, and the APAC specifically, the APAC players brought a meta that countered the European meta just really well. We had 2 members in Tom 60229 and Surrender from the APAC region in the Final Four. And that it's amazing to see the APAC step up, because they've kind of been the third spot down. There was always that battle between Europe and the Americas. Yeah. And then APAC was kind of in third, and China never really had a representation.
Right.
It's good to see the APAC step up.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because you go into a lot of these tournaments and you hear these super high expectations for these Asian players, and they get called choke artists a lot of the times because they'll expect, like, I mean, Tom and Jason Zoe have been in a lot of these matches, right, over the years, and they never go all the way. And it was good to see them get all the way to the Final Four and just put up really fun matches, right?
Yeah, so in the Final Four, Tom ended up having to eliminate his fellow countryman, Surrender.
Yeah.
While Frozen eliminated Jason Joe in a really great set of games. So that set up a Frozen versus Tom finals, and on paper, it looked like Frozen had the better lineup.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about game 1 of the finals. So if you guys haven't watched it yet, this is your spoiler warning alert. Turn off the podcast, go watch it, and come back and discuss with us. But I'm going to give you a second. Okay, you should be gone. Time's up. Okay, so in the final match, game 1, it was Frozen's Control Mage versus Tom's Jade Druid.
This is an amazing match.
And I think this was the game of the entire weekend. I don't think there was a better game played the entire weekend. Because Tom just looks like he's in control this whole game.
He was in control.
Yeah. And Frozen is at like 1 health. He's popped his ice block, and he top decks Arcane Artificer and casts Flame Strike to go back up to 8 health, and it wipes Tom out. He has no resources remaining, and from 1 health, Frozen comes back to win that game.
Well, didn't he play like Tom had like someone had the UI in his hand, right? Tom had the UI in his hand, right? And so he was dead.
Yeah. If he played UI, he would have drawn himself out, but
Yeah.
He had enough health that I think he still would have been at 12 health, and Frozen would have lost. So he could have frozen his entire board, his face, done everything he could, but unless he had another ice block or a counter spell or something, the UI was going to win the game the next turn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Like I said, absolutely, positively, what I think of was the best game of the entire weekend. So, then Frozen comes in and wins game 2, and then after game 2, we had a little bit of an issue. Somebody got a little excited. And, you know, what happens when you get excited? Sometimes things go off a little early. And we had a confetti gun. We had a confetti cannon go off after game 2, before game 3. And I tell you what.
So, about that, Frozen at this point, he's 2-0. He gets this grin on his face and kind of chuckles. It's funny, you know. And you know, in your mind, you're thinking, "Oh, okay, I'm up 2-0. You know, this is writing on the table. The gods are shining down on me. They're throwing confetti on me." Yeah. But Tom had this literal angry face, and justifiably. Yeah. He was clearly annoyed that this happened. He's obviously sitting there thinking, "What can I do to come back?"
Brushes it off the table, picks it out of his hair, and he's laser focused and ready to go to game 3.
Dude, that was like
it was
mode.
Yeah.
The look on his face was anger, but the minute he started that third game, you could just see at that point he's telling himself, "I want to prove that confetti cannon wrong."
So Tom wins game 3, and it went pretty quick. It was pretty substantial. And then Tom immediately turned around and won game 4 by like turn 4 or something.
Yeah.
I think that was the game he got out the turn 2 10-10 Edwin Van Cleef.
Yeah.
And he got 20 points of damage in with it before Frozen could stop it. So now we're going to game 5. It's correct me if I'm wrong, but it was Jade Druid versus Jade Druid.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And there was a lot. This match, this Game 5 match, had a lot of weird speculations, and a lot of your pro players are saying that some people are saying that Tom was unjustly rewarded because he made what they believe to be a bad call. Yeah. Both players had Ultimate Infestation in their opening hand.
Yep.
And Frozen, seeing what other cards in his hand, made the right call. Not seeing any ramp, didn't see any nourish. He made what a lot of pro players would say is the right call, and he tossed it back. Yep. Now, in the case of Tom, a lot of times if you're holding some kind of ramp, you think, "Oh, I can get this Ultimate Infestation off faster. I'll keep it." He had 0 ramp in his hand and still kept UI. Yeah. Now, on paper, this is a bad play, but we've said on Hero Power all the time, play to your outs. And in the mirror match, the outs is your ramp into UI. Whoever can get that first UI off usually ends up winning. Yeah. So he's basically ditching his entire hand other than UI, hoping to get the ramp, and he got it. Yes. Like runner, ramp.
It's one of those things, and my first Legend push was in August when Knights of the Frozen Throne came out, and I actually paid or had Appa from Coin Concede. He was still on Coin Concede at the time, coach me. And he helped me, and he coached me with Jade Druid, which was by far the best deck in the meta at the time. And he would tell me that you're always, especially in that mirror matchup, that keeping UI is sometimes right because you know that the first person to drop that UI basically wins. I mean, that matchup is one of two ways: ramping way faster than your opponent, and Jade Druids, your Jade size is right. And those two things are both really helped by UI because you're drawing 5 cards, you're dealing 5 damage, you're gaining 5 armor. And it just showed that you're not playing an aggro deck that's going to smork your face down, and that you can go, well, I'm taking a risk. And what happened? It was Frozen didn't draw UI and lost because of it.
Yep. And one thing I want to point out, a lot of these pro players and streamers are saying it's a wrong call, but a lot of these pro players and streamers are both U.S. or America's-based players and Europe-based players. Well, Europe didn't have anybody in the top 4, and the USA players obviously couldn't beat the APAC player. Maybe this is something that the APAC players have just figured out, and in testing, that in the mirror match you would keep UI no matter what. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's something that the European players and the Americas players don't agree on, but look who's the champion now.
Yeah. That's right. And Matt at Arms in our chat says, it's not the size of the jade, but how you use them.
That's right.
There's a reoccurring theme tonight, and I'm just gonna keep saying that my name has something to do with it.
I want to throw a real quick shout out to Trixie. Thank you for hosting us. Great to have you in chat again with us this week.
Love you, bro. Love you.
So, all right. So, as we just talked about, Tom 60229 comes back, completes the reverse sweep to become the first Asian Pacific world champion of Hearthstone. Mm-hmm. And as if that's not recognition enough, he gets the $250,000 grand prize. He is our new champion for the next year. His own country celebrates the win with him in a huge way. So the very next day, the president of Taiwan, and I'm going to butcher her name, and I apologize in advance, President Tsai Ing-wen wrote...
You got it right.
I was going to say, it sounded okay to me. I mean, I think there are more difficult names that have been said before. So
yeah, probably. Good job. Like, I always screw it up. Dahani? I can't remember. But anyway, so President Tsai Ing-wen wrote, esports is sports. Yeah. And this basically is the first time, possibly the first time, a world leader has declared playing video games as a sport. Yeah. And
and not a mental illness.
Yeah.
To point that out.
Yeah. And she honors one of her countrymen, Chen Wei Lin, known to us as Tom 60229. And not only that, but his face was splashed across some of the largest newspapers in Taiwan on Monday morning. He was basically a national hero for bringing the world championship to Taiwan. Yeah. I mean, that's what esports on a global level should be about. Yeah. Friendly competition worldwide. And I mean, that's it, guys. I mean, it doesn't get any, I don't think you could say it gets any better than that.
Yeah. It's funny because we've had South Korea for a long time. I mean, South Korea has been at the forefront of embracing esports. I feel like they have, I mean, StarCraft 2 is like their national pastime in Korea, right? And so they really embrace esports there, and it's cool seeing someone from another country like that do that. And I saw the stories in the newspaper articles, and it was really cool to see how much credit this guy got, because I'm not sure like Fireback could go anywhere in this country besides like a fireside gathering and people would know who he is.
Exactly.
And so I mean, I know there's a big time difference too, right? It's like, but even, okay, so the Overwatch League is in its like third week now. I don't think anywhere in this country would any of those players be really known. And there's so many really strong Korean players in this league, and I bet you a lot of money that they could walk into lots of places in Korea and be known for being, a esports player. So it's. I think we need to. I don't know if it's as a country, because we have the NFL and we have college football and we have the NBA, if that's part of the thing, but it'll be interesting to see how much this changes and what it would take for America to really fully embrace esports as a culture, because I don't know what it will take. So
yeah. We'll just have to keep trying. But I tell you what, and we talked about this a little bit on the Innkeeper podcast last night, because this is big for us as tournament organizers and innkeepers, because now it kind of gives you publicity to go forward and say, look at how big this is, look at who is recognizing it on these levels. Venue owners may now understand what we're trying to accomplish as tournament organizers. Being able to show Hearthstone in the mainstream media gives it a little bit of that validation. So thank you, Trixie, for the subscription, man. You don't know what that kind of support means to us. We greatly appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, this is huge, not only for Tom, but for all Hearthstone players.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. That pretty much wraps up the news for us this week. We do have this week's Tavern Brawl, which is Nefarian Rises.
Yep.
So this is the co-op Nefarian Brawl that we've seen previously.
Again.
Did
they change it at all? Besides, I felt like I didn't recognize all the cards, but it wasn't.
They've added some new cards, and they've done different classes before. But the Shaman and Paladin Shaman and Priest combination has been done before. Now they've added a couple more cards, it looks like, in it. But we'll read the description. It says, join forces with a friend to take down Nefarian again. Anduin teams up with the newcomer Morgul in this new cooperative tavern brawl. Now, they've done this. Now, a lot of times, we kind of rag on them a little bit for recycling tavern brawls, especially almost to the letter tavern brawls they've done before. Mm-hmm. However, this usually signifies that change is coming. When they're not taking the time to rotate out a new tavern brawl and have to worry about possible bugs during the tavern brawl, that means they're probably getting ready to roll out or announce something. And I know we're getting short on time, but Ben Bro did make a statement that next month in February we will probably see some changes, probably the announcement of the new year of, and so this is probably good news, because that means we're probably in the next 2 weeks going to hear something come out of Team 5, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So go grab you a friend and check out the Tavern Brawl. If you're Rod, go grab you Ben Reddington, and you guys go knock it out together. Work together as a team.
He's gonna give me noogies and call me names while we're doing it, and
he's such a bully.
I know he is. A little me. I mean,
I just say that because he's just recently joined the chat with us tonight, and so
I'm sweet and innocent, and Ben is someone just. My wife just laughed at me when I said I'm sweet and innocent from upstairs, by the way. But and Ben just like stealing my lunch money and giving me noogies, and it hurts me in my heart.
That's
it hurts me in my heart, Ben.
You can at least have the knowledge of knowing that Ben can't even spell the word guy. He had to try it 3 times in chat before he could spell G-U-I.
I don't think he's gotten it right once yet. Oh, there it goes.
So you've got that going for you, Rod.
When you drive across Kansas, guys, your brain starts dripping out of your ears because all you're looking at are cornfields. So it's understandable. Living in Kansas kills brain cells. It's a proven fact.
I think Ben's been abducted by aliens. I really do. No, we joke with Wild Out Ben, but he's really a great
Yeah.
He's obviously the proprietor of Dad Legend. He's a great member of the community.
Patron of our show, and we love having him in the community.
He actually came up with our logo for Tier 5. He sells on his Dad Legend store. He sells Tier 5 t-shirts. Even though he harasses me, I love him to death, and he's a pain in my butt, but I still love the guy. So
yeah, there you
go. And I actually am a member of Dad Legend. I have a Dad Legend t-shirt, so I am part of that Dad Legend community.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about this deck that Rod has brought this week. So it is one of the decks he played against Virsica in the UHL Week 2. It is OTK Paladin.
Yes.
Because there is no such thing as too much meme. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna run down this deck list real quick, and then I will pitch it over to Rod to kind of talk about it and tell us how the deck is supposed to work. Okay. So it's got 1 Blessing of Wisdom, 2 Righteous Protectors, 1 Runic Egg, 2 Dirty Rat, 2 Equality, 2 Hydrologist, 2 Loot Hoarder, 2 Potion of Heroism, 2 Wild Pyromancer, 1 Auction Master Beardo, 2 Rallying Blade, 2 Call to Arms, 1 Consecration, 2 Burgley Bullies, Harrison Jones, 2 Spike Ridge Steed, Sunkeeper Tareem, Lynessa Sunsorrow, and Uther of the Ebon Blade.
Yes.
Before you get started, I want to point out I am a avid Control Paladin player. I love the slow game with Paladin. I have never thought it before, and I love the addition of Runic Egg.
Yeah.
Because it can easily be brought out quickly, and they don't want to kill it, which means it stays there for buffs. And that's just an amazing tech, and I'm probably gonna start stealing that from you.
Yeah. It's one of these things where you think about it at first and you go, I don't know how good this is, but you're doing things like Wild Pyromancer Equality. You have 2 Spike Ridge Steeds. You have other board clears from your opponents. It's one of those cards that you might feel bad throwing down early on, but it actually helps a lot just drawing through your deck, because the ultimate goal of this deck is to get to your combo pieces, get some coins, some Burgling Bully, and go to town. It's a deck that is... You're talking about it, Zeroshio. It's a Control Paladin players will find it easier, but you have to figure out that, because there's some weird things in this deck. So you wouldn't think of Call to Arms being a Control Paladin card, and you kind of have to use it carefully, because you want to make sure you have at least one of your Hydrologists, because you want a secret just to be able to cycle when you have your Beardo. So that's one of the important things of this deck. Potion of Heroism's an interesting tech that I had people questioning being in here, and it's a couple things. It's card draw. I mean, it's card draw, but it's card draw multiple times, actually, because it also combines with Lynessa Sunsorrow. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting card that I think hasn't been really seen yet, but when you're trying to do what you're trying to do, it enables you to trade. It gives you card draw, and then it gives your Sunsorrow another card and a Divine Shield. So it's a really fun deck. It's challenging, which I really like with my decks. I'm a control player at heart, so it's a fun deck, and it does a lot of cool things that make it fun playing. So.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward. It was a lot of fun to watch you play it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it played again here momentarily. Before we switch over to play this deck, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you if they want to hear some more of Tier 5, or they want to see some more of your rivalry with Ben on Twitter.
Or if they just want to get a little Rod.
Yeah, exactly, and some Johnston. So, you guys were joking about it the whole time. I'm like, I asked my parents recently, I'm like, do you guys ever think that like my names sound a little like, phallic, both of them? And my dad's like, but your last name isn't Johnson. I'm like, Johnson's close enough. And you know what I get called constantly is Rod Johnston. So it's like one of those things because Rod isn't exactly the most common name in the world. So it's one of those things where I'm like, man, and here's an even better thing. So my little brother from Daring Reporter's name's Kurt. So we're literally Curtain Rod. So just think about that for a second. So it's one of those things where we're not exactly. I'm like, you guys need to put some like thought into these names. And I told you guys before, I met a technician who builds spacecraft for Lockheed Martin, and he tells me, he goes, Zoratio is losing his mind, and it's
yeah.
You broke me.
his name is Rodney, and he met me, and he goes, another white Rodney, because we both kind of agreed. There's a lot of not white Rodneys in the world, and so it made me laugh even more. And I actually think I'm named after a not white Rodney that my dad was friends with in the Army. So it just makes me laugh. I'm like, you guys are killing me.
Rod.
So, anyways,
Rod.
I am on Twitter. I'm Rod_Johnston. I have a Twitch at twitch.tv/Rod_Johnston, which is on a weird schedule right now because of UHL and random podcast appearances. And now that I got podcasts on Tuesday and Wednesday because Virsica's gone forever, it's going to be really hard, but no. Tier 5 is basically on every podcast app. So download that. It comes out Tuesday nights, like I said earlier. We have a Twitter at Tier 5 Podcast, and that's with the number 5. We have an email at tier5podcast@gmail.com. Same thing, number 5. And our Discord is discord.me/tier5. So come hang out there. There are lots of fun things. We just had one of the big fans of the UHL League has been doing these really fun meme pictures.
You must be talking about none other than Mr. Spartacus Fett.
I am, in fact, indeed talking about Mr. Spartacus Fett. He, Adam had made a request last night, and he did it today. In our Discord, there's a picture of me as a Dirty Rat, and he has renamed the card as Dirty Rod. And so that is out there in our Discord, and that is the kind of thing that happens in there that's always a good time. We have contests in there, and it's a fun time. It's a blast, and I'll play Overwatch with people in there and just use a voice chat, and so it's all over the place, but it's a good time. So
awesome. Well, like I said, it's nice having you on the show. We were glad you were able to join us and fill in for Virsica while he is drinking mojitos on the beach. So
and I'm in Colorado. It's like 30 degrees and like snow on the ground, and
it ain't much warmer here. So
yeah.
But, all right, gang. If you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOgamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, or join our patron-only Discord, you can do that by going to patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Don't forget to use your hero power. I just wanted to say it too.
You're allowed.
All right. So, Rod, you're going to be driving tonight with your deck. So once you are in and have found a worthy opponent, we will spectate you. And
okay, cool. If my computer wants to give me... Okay, my Hearthstone crashed, so...
Good old Hearthstone.
Someone was talking about how much better they think the mobile client is. I have more issues with the desktop client than I do like like it will crash on me when it's coming up, like, and not load properly.
It's been horrible.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's been worse in the last. Like, I thought it was my computer before. Like, I had a bad old computer that I replaced in November, but no, it still happens on this new one. Like, it's a pretty good machine, and I'm just like, man, I just wish this was working better.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me actually get in, and we are off to the races.
Wild Dot Ben in chat says Ramrod for the win.
I don't even know what happened. I swear to God, I told Ferris Biscuit I just wanted to be Team Rod. There are like 18 different hashtags for me in the damn thing. Like, I've seen Team Ramrod, I saw Team Tier 5, I saw Team Rod. I was like, I don't even have a damn name here, and so I have an opponent. Yep, I see. Okay, cool. So I like to get rid of Call to Arms at first, just because the problem is, like I said, you can't use them really before you've gotten one, at least hydrologist. So it's actually an interesting thing in this deck. Is there's a hydrologist
Nice.
You can pulling a dirty rat is kind of a fun. What the hell is going on?
Uh-oh.
What is
Malcazar at rank 9? What is... What? See, okay. I thought rank 5 was bad. Right now, rank 5 is like Clown Circus Fiesta.
Yeah.
And obviously, rank 9 is no different right now.
Dude.
The ladder is just so crazy.
Dude, I was saying this before. This meta is just absolutely bonkers. Like, I've only played 120 games this season, which is a really low amount of games for me. I mean, a really low. I hit Legend in 350 or something last season, but yeah.
Is there any merit to equality here to deny any kind of card draw?
It's worth thinking about, but and what I'm wondering is, because he's a priest, he's not going to be overloading the board, right? So
yeah.
The one thing, so you're not really scared of minions at this point, so maybe I'll do that. I actually don't hate the idea. We're gonna do it. I had thought about it.
I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you go, you can't let them draw their combo pieces, right? This deck doesn't really have any healing besides and he's playing I wonder if he's playing Frozen's version.
Well, we sell Prince Malcazar. Now, a lot of people will tell you if it's Prince Malcazar, it can't be Highlander, but people don't realize that Prince Malcazar will only put legendaries in your deck that meet deck building. So it's going to keep class legendaries and neutral legendaries, and it won't give you two legendaries of the same name.
There have been lots of versions of Highlander, man, and I had a whole episode dedicated to the Archbishop Benedictus Hemet version, which was really early in the whole version, where the deck was coming out. And it was before people started putting in Velen. So I don't care about anything else. I play the Secret as a refresher on what's his name?
On Beardo?
Yeah, on Beardo, yeah. So I'm drawing extremely strange, but
you're getting a lot of card draw, which is good.
Yeah, it is good. And you don't really care. He's only got 2 damage on the board. So it's just getting the card draw out to get your combo pieces. What is Raza?
Raza?
No.
Oh no, Draconid.
Yeah, there are some strange versions of this deck, and I don't know why you would ever water down a Dragon Priest with
Matt at Arms. Matt at Arms in chat says 10-1 this deck has Togwaggle in it.
Mine doesn't, even though I'm known for my Togwaggle love, and I will admit that all day, every day. But this one doesn't, because
no, I think he's talking about the priest.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, right? So I don't want to drop the bully when he could kill it on board. You want him spending at least 1 spell on it, right? So it's man.
I tell you, Priest and it
weapons for
the right
days. Cards.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you're you have to wonder that there's a lot of different kinds of.
Wow, he totally disrespects the Sunkeeper on 6.
And he does.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I have two options, right? I can Spikeridge Steed and double trade, and save that for later on. And I kind of like that because I can. But the problem is,
I don't hate that.
Yeah, because the thing is, and this is, I don't know how much he's playing all these 5/6s, and he can overwhelm me real quickly, right? So I'm going to do that, I think. And
we're going into a Dragonfire turn.
Yeah.
So we want to get the dragon off the board.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where Tareem can do really cool things, but he's also,
Spiteful Summoner into mind control.
So
how is he putting Malchezaar in this deck?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And luckily we saved our what do you call him? So
yeah.
I think we got to play Sunkeeper because nothing else really makes sense here. I mean, we could play the Burglary Bully.
I don't hate the Burglary Bully because how is he going to kill it real easily?
Yeah,
he'll use the Ultrasaur, and next turn we could actually Dirty Rat into Sunkeeper, possibly making him lose value from something.
So what I'm worried about, though, and I'm just realizing this, is though oh no, right? Because I keep forgetting, right? He doesn't have Shadow Word Pain, right? Because he's playing Big Spell. So the next question is, do I play a Dirty Rat? And I'm debating.
I'd probably just Hero Power and save the Dirty Rat for next turn.
Yeah, it's one of those things where then we can do both with the Sunkeeper, right?
I expect him to clear it with the Ultrasaur and then go face with the 4/4 and probably drop another Spiteful. Oh no, he's tapping.
Yeah, see, this
is Dustbreaker. Okay.
Kind of what I was worried about, but
it still isn't bad. And depending what we can pull off the Dirty Rat, we might get pretty good value.
Yeah, we'll go with this. And well,
it's not terrible, but yeah,
it's not.
He still gets his ability.
Yeah,
but we just took 4, 5, 6 damage off the board, and he's going to add another 3 if it lives. Yeah, so that's still in our favor.
It's one of those things too where we have this Linessa here, and it's not a bad play because I'm only going to get a Spikeridge Steed on it, but that's more than enough value, really. So, especially with his board.
Well, there's a Wisdom.
Yeah, and that's what. So if I play that, if I play something, what I'm thinking right now is playing that on the Sunkeeper.
Kill the 3/3.
Yeah, and then playing Linessa, and she'll have the Blessing of Wisdom also.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I like, and I'm gonna probably play the Righteous Protector too. Oh, I didn't. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm not playing right.
It's all right.
So let's do that, and I'm amazed I didn't get any emotes from this guy. So
yeah. When we made a mistake, though, we probably should have just popped it on the Righteous Protector, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he could kill with this is his my Sunkeeper, right? So
yeah.
What I really have to wonder though is I started off with so much card draw.
We facelessed it.
What the hell is happening?
This deck is like Kitchen Sink Priest.
Yeah, I would say so, man. And I've lost the game basically with that play. That was a nuts turn. I think I just have to play Hydrologist, and I don't know, man.
Kodo? So we can get another Righteous out?
Well, what's going to happen is the Righteous is going, but if I play... I think... I was really hoping for, what do you call it? Not Repentance, the other one. Where it comes back to you.
Redemption?
Yeah. Damn it, man. I've not seen a Faceless Summoner in a
This is nuts. I couldn't. We haven't even seen any of the legendaries he got off Malcazar yet.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening, man. This is a clown fiesta, like you said.
It's a clown fiesta. That's exactly what's happening.
Oh, and he gets because he gets the wow. That's so
he got
gross.
The troll.
Oh,
so
that's
sick.
So gross. And man.
This guy is clearly a follower of the show and wanted to show us that he could beat the Rod.
Oh yeah, man.
On the ladder.
It's not a hard thing to prove at this point. Holy crap. So I don't.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do.
I think that the only thing I can do is play Pyromancer, trade all these things. I don't even think that does anything.
It doesn't. There's not a way to kill the Draconid.
Yeah, and that's the problem. But so I guess we do this, and then play a Repentance because I don't care about the secret anymore because I don't. Yeah. I want to survive and not. That's what's important at this point. I'm not going to be able to OTK him, and that takes 1 damage out the board. Damn, that is not whatever this guy is playing is nuts.
Yeah, and then
I didn't draw great either, right? Like I didn't get. I mean, I screwed up because I'm talking and not thinking, but and then
it happens a lot on this show. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh man, it's what's funny because I feel like this is like Q block hate, and there's not even that many Q blocks on the ladder right now, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I've personally taken up the just basic control warlock better. Like I like the deck better.
I don't know. I think it's because I'm not piloting the control warlock very well. I like Cube better. Mm-hmm. But so far everywhere I go, they've been banning my warlock, so it doesn't matter. Do
you play Rin and when you play control, or do you play a non-Rin list?
I played both.
Okay.
And to me, she's 6 of one, half dozen the other. Yeah. Really, you play her for the taunt.
Yeah.
And her ability happens so late it doesn't matter. Oh, do you keep Uther and Auctionmaster in this case?
No, because there's a distinct possibility this guy is playing
Burn?
Secret Mage.
Yeah.
And at that point, like I don't know why they call it Secret Mage, because it's not. It uses secrets, but its main focus is to burn your face. It's Burn Mage. Yeah, it's because I think that Burn Mage became associated with more control-y decks. Like the whole like right after Ungoro came out, right? There was the whole resurgence of Burn Mage. It was the whole, and that was when, I don't know if you guys knew about the guy who Top Deck Kings had him on, the eat hot dogs get legend guy.
Yeah.
That was like when that guy really Johnny Black, I think is his name was. He really,
that sounds right.
Yeah, he really came up with a lot of that tech and made that deck like feel good, and he wrote that really, really cool Reddit post, right? But there's another thing this could be still is the control mages after the HCT over the weekend, right? With the burn mages coming out. So now I have a hydrologist. I actually don't mind playing the call to arms because I really want one secret. So I'm gonna do this.
And I like to call the arms here before he has a chance to put out something like a counterspell.
Yeah.
You didn't get the other hydrologist, so that's good.
Yeah, and it's having another one. And that means I'm going to be able to drop my Burgley Bully here.
Yep.
And let him deal with that. He's going to have to use at least one spell.
He'll at least have to use a Fireball. Plus, he's not respecting the Runic Egg, and we'll have a Spike Ridge Steed target for that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where you have the 2 minions that he has to deal with at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, man. It's like I had my dad came and visited me for like a month. He was here for like 2.5 weeks at like in the middle of December and left in early January. And I got so far behind, like I hit Legend the day after he showed up, and I barely played at that point the rest of the season. And then so when I came back and started trying to play again this season, it was very the meta has changed, right? In that time. So I think this is a control mage. I don't think this is secret mage.
So you don't put that on counterspell?
No, I bet you this is. I bet you this is. He's been too slow. He hasn't done anything. It might be, but I'd rather burn a Spikeridge Steed over a
coin.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it's an ice block. But the funny part about that is guess what? Ice block doesn't stop.
The combo.
Yeah, it does not.
The worry though is having enough board space for the combo, because if he's freezing your board, you might not have that. So he might not want to vomit too many minions on the board.
Yeah, and I really don't. I might just drop this other loot hoarder and pass.
I don't hate that just for draw.
Yeah.
With the rallying blade in our hand, do we go ahead and punch face, or?
I don't know if you need to.
Okay. I mean, it's fair.
I mean, the point is, at this point, like the thing is, like, both of our game plan is to stall. So he's giving me 3 coins. So I don't even have my deck tracker going, so I'm not like counting cards very well. Let's see.
Well, there's the potion of heroism.
Yeah. What I'm actually kind of just thinking is dropping. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 cards. If he kills that, that's 10. What I'm thinking is just dropping the hair. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to drop Harrison, because the thing is here, I think I just go face with this.
This deck does not run LNF.
But it might run Medivh, right?
That's fair.
That's the thing that I would worry about at this point. So I'm at 1, 2. I'm going to play the Rallying Blade.
We don't want to play the other bully because we don't want him to max out on cards.
Yep. So I'm just going to trade the. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will put me at 9. So I still have to do something. I might just have to play Harrison.
Okay.
Just if he has Medivh, it's going to have to be a thing after because
we got the Uther.
Yeah. So now we just need a Auction Master Beardo.
Just need the weirdo Beardo.
And I love that card, man. It's such a
I do too.
It's goofy concept cards like that I really think are fun. So sweet. Yeah.
So I love the mental image of a Spikeridge Steed riding another Spikeridge Steed.
Yeah, and I think it's a good call, right? So I'm debating on just playing Dirty Rat too. Because I could take I have 7 damage here.
Yeah, what's he gonna we could get something good out of his hand.
Alstraza, maybe?
That would be bad, but not terrible.
See, yeah, I think that I don't hate this. Hey, look at I said it and it happened.
That's right. That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
Do we punch face since we have Uther?
Yeah, actually, I don't know. That's what I'm wondering on. Maybe I should have. Another meteor. He's had both of them pretty early.
His hand's heavy.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with this deck is how heavy it could be, right?
Yeah.
So, what? My kingdom for a equality.
I think you just Uther.
Yeah, I think that's not bad. Well, actually, let's think about this. I can also play a Wild Pyromancer, put a Potion of Heroism on him, and see what I get, and start hitting this guy like that. Because the one thing I'm wondering about now is I can't kill the dragon like that, right? I think maybe you're right. I don't know. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, because if we draw Beardo next turn,
Yep.
We want to be able to pull a combo.
Yep. It is true. It is true. Okay.
I do like clearing the 2/3 though.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because I need an equality at this point, just to be able to deal with whatever.
And Ice Block doesn't stop the combo. I love that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't care how much armor he has.
Nope.
So it's I really like this card. It's you have to wonder he's gonna trade with that, right? You're gonna pull both of my.
Oh gosh, he got both of them. That's actually really good for him.
You have to wonder, like, and he goes face. Okay. Do you have another AoE? No.
I think he thinks you have the Beardo in hand.
Maybe.
He was hoping to pull the Beardo.
So I think I have to do this first.
Uh-huh.
Draw cards.
This will hit twice.
Yeah.
Killing one of them.
This is just awkward, though. I think I have to play this Hydrologist.
Uh-huh.
Play a Noble Sacrifice.
Okay.
Right? Now, what is the real thing here is I take this guy out. Man, this is a pain.
Yeah.
Let's see. But that puts me back up to 26. So
do you Blessing of Wisdom Alexstrasza?
I think that's a good plan, actually.
Or do well, I guess it doesn't matter if we trade him in or not.
Yeah. And I'm going to play the Noble Sacrifice, right?
I like it.
Yeah. And then Hero Power.
Yeah. Make him feel like he has to clear that 2/2.
Yeah. Man, the crazy ass. I knew it was going to be like Control Mage after. That's one of those things you start seeing these decks appear more and more because of HCT, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's going to make things awkward for him.
Yeah. And then because now he's got the 2/2. Man, he just wants to go face with Alex, huh?
Well, yeah, he knows he's on a timer right now. We draw Beardo, and he's up a creek.
Yeah.
We got the Consecrate.
So I think we start with a Consecrate here.
And clear out Alexstrasza?
Yeah.
Like that?
I think we could play Called Arms, right? Because
Called Arms is going to thin your deck to draw Beardo. So,
yeah. Oh, wow, it's my only card left.
That's fine though.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yep, and then I could play the Hydrologist next turn if I need to. Yeah,
I think the the Horseman's better value because they're gonna want to clear it.
Yeah, we're at 6 cards. He's at 8 cards, so he's already. I mean, that's his game plan, right? Is to play Alexstrasza and burn me out. So. I think we are in a good spot here. And I didn't play the Hydrologist yet, so sweet.
That's good.
Yeah, killed nothing. You're going to be a sad panda, sir, if I draw my...
Yeah, I almost wish we had some 1 cost.
Yeah, here we go.
In there. Yeah.
There we go. So
can we do it this turn? We can't do it this turn, can we?
Well, actually, can we?
Oh, let's do math.
So this is
6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 6 for the next 3, and yeah, we can.
So do I do it first though? Do I
Hero Power? Power, Beardo.
Oh, yep, and then there's 2 more.
Coin,
yeah, we have more
Hero
than
Power,
enough,
coin,
right?
Hero Power. Yeah, because he left the 2/2 alive on the board. That's what allowed us to do it.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's like probably very appropriate to play this deck on Hero Power, right?
That's right.
with Auction.
Don't forget to flip your hero power.
Yeah, I think Auction Master Beardo should be like your guys' like mascot, like as Hemet has kind of become the tier 5 mascot. So
we loved it when we first came out, and then wasn't that when they announced the Inspire ability? I was like,
no,
it makes perfect sense.
He came out like last year, right? So
yeah, but when our show came out.
Oh yeah. Just
after our show came out,
I get
Grand Tournament came out, and they came out with Inspire. I was like, they're writing this stuff for us.
So I'm debating on keeping one of these potions of hair. Actually, do I keep them both? I mean, we're going second.
I like them.
Yeah, I mean, against Rogue, I'm keeping the Pyromancer as a board clear because it's Rogue, right? So, and I like going second because you get a free coin.
Yep.
And the problem with Rogue is that they are going to do things like Vile Spine.
Yeah. Man at Arms in chat says the 2 best hero power decks are Virsica's Priest and Exodia Paladin.
Yep. Man.
Yeah.
You guys think they're going to? I know people are complaining about them nerfing Raza. Do you think they're going to do that with the Ben Brode tweet?
I don't.
I really don't think so either.
I think that they have to start being careful though about Wild. The problem is that Raza Priest is so damn strong, right? That it makes up a large portion of the Wild ladder too. So I think
they honestly want Wild to be crazy Clown Fiesta because they don't ever plan to make it. Yeah. They never plan to make it a highly competitive format like Standard is.
Yeah. Why is this guy face tanking me with his dagger? See, you can tell this guy isn't a Golden Rogue because he did that. Golden Rogue is you don't ever waste dagger charges like that, I feel like. I think Noble Sacrifice is okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know when we're going to use it, but so yeah, I had a thing going when Quest Rogue was happening where I said that if you get your 500 wins with Rogue, with Quest Rogue, you get Silver Rogue. You don't get Gold Rogue.
That's funny.
Because I don't know. My favorite deck of all time is Miracle Rogue, and so Quest Rogue is one of those things that I'm like, it just makes me feel dirty, right?
So what you're telling me, Rod, is I have 8 golden heroes and 1 silver hero because
is that what you played lots of Quest Rogue?
Well, Rogue was my second to last class, Hunter being my last.
Yeah,
and
Hunter is my last also.
I needed something because I wasn't good with Rogue, and Quest Rogue was out, and I was like, you know what? Let me just grind Quest Rogue games. Yeah. So
it's funny. It's one of those things though that Quest Rogue was really really hard to play, but it felt dirty. Was what like.
And I think I redeemed it by getting 450 of my 500 warrior wins with Control Warrior.
Yeah, see that's what it's. I just like laugh about it. I really don't think that you're a worse Rogue player for doing that, but I just have to laugh about it because I wasn't even a Rogue player. Rogue is an intimidating class, right? Especially in the Miracle Rogue days, like you have to learn how to play Rogue. And when you do, you're like, man, this is hard. And
hold on? Do we send that face and double potion of heroism on the Pyromancer to clear the board?
And clear the board. I like that.
I think that's good, man. That's a good thing. I was thinking.
So you were talking. Yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you, but
no, dude, it's a good thing, man. I like that. Oh, so I put it on this one first, right?
It'll knock it off, and then the next one will kill it anyway.
So yeah, just double.
I mean, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do it this way and then do the second one, well, the second one you can't put on that anyways.
Yeah.
Either way, one of your 2 minions are gonna die. So.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, that's such good for card draw and whatnot, and we got the call to arms here.
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is really good swing.
As soon as you get a quality, I mean, the Wild Pyromancer is such a great card in this meta because of all the low health minions. And I'm glad he didn't buff this because buffed Serenite Chain Gang is one of like the dirtiest cards in the meta.
Yeah.
So what about coin Spike Ridge here?
I don't want to use the coin.
Good point. Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, because again, the problem is with all this is if he uses his coin, if he Vile Spines my minions like my Burglary Bully, I don't have the ammo. But a lot of the time this is gonna just be a battle of attrition anyways. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is play Hydrologist and play the Blade and kill both of these.
Clear the two chain gangs, I like that.
I don't hate that.
So
if we took a second Noble Sacrifice, we can't do them both in the same turn.
Nope. It's okay. So, it's one of those things where I could actually play one of them now.
Because we have the coin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to play it this turn. I just meant I could play it and still have the other one as a backup.
Right.
And the second secret doesn't really matter, right? So it's... And this is the major problem with Rogue, right? He's like drawing like crap right now. Oh, I wouldn't have done that.
What?
That was a bad play. It was
really bad.
I would have like traded the 1/2 and the dagger.
Exactly.
So I think this is a call to arms. See what happens.
Yeah. And maybe Loot Hoarder.
Yeah, I think the Loot Hoarder.
Oh,
that's pretty dirty, man.
It's real dirty.
I don't even care about using the Blade, right? I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. Have fun with this board, Mr.
Yeah, that was nice.
Bro. Yeah.
Real nice.
That's why the Dirty Rat is so fun in this deck. So we're gonna be able to put it on the yep. Oh, I think I still have to do that, and then because
he's only got one card in his hand, and it's a flame elemental, isn't it? Fire? No, it's a gifted card.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do. Yeah. So let's see if how he approaches this.
Because I don't want. Matt at Arms said you should rename that card "Call the Dirty Rats."
Call the Dirty Rats. That's right. My Kingdom for an Equality.
Yeah.
Oh, this makes it straight awkward.
Yeah, that's why I would have done it the other way around first, right?
Yeah. His sequencing is horrible.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you have to go.
Oh, there we go.
And here I'm gonna. Oh, I almost screwed that up. So let's Hero Power first.
Yeah, Hero Power first.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you think he concedes off of this?
I would.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I probably wouldn't because I don't tend to concede, but it would really get me disheartened. Here's the equality.
Yeah. I mean, this guy can't do anything. He's already used his Sunkeeper. It's kind of like Raza versus aggro decks, right? Why did he do that?
No clue.
I mean, there was like no reason for that. Like I figured that was a Vile Spine was that card in his hand all of a sudden, but
well, the card in his hand is
the gifted hand. Yeah,
it's the gifted. It's a Paladin card.
Yeah.
So
why would you do that? Like, see, that's not. I mean, you have to wonder, man. It's one of those things where Rogue players, when you don't know how to play Rogue, it can be super frustrating.
King.
Yeah. Ramasi in chat says he's just trying to get his play 50 Rogue cards.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, right? I mean, let's see what this is.
And we do want to clear our board down a little bit. Well,
yep.
Yeah, there we go. Because we need room. Remember, we got to clear at least one more minion off because we need room for the combo.
Let's just do this then. And then I don't have to take 9 to the face, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get to the combo, but I mean, we could do it. I mean, we're missing 1 coin, right? So.
Yeah, if you cast a spell this turn, we got it.
Yeah. Let's see. Come on.
He doesn't cast a spell. We beat him anyways.
Yeah. There you
go. We go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Don't forget to Hero Power.
Okay, now the taunts make him think he's going to win.
Yep. Oh, man, I'm so... Man, that's such a good play. We're gonna do that. And then we're gonna do this.
You're such a Rod.
Oh, I have screwed that up. I'm an idiot.
Oh!
Wow. I'm an idiot. I'm laughing.
No, we can still do it. We can still do it. We can still do it.
Because I have the This is what I get for talking. I think I'm fine, but
yeah, that going into that.
No, I messed up.
Yep, you don't have enough.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
No!
It doesn't matter though. Let's see. I mean, this goes here. This goes here, and my stupidity was stupid. But I mean, what is he gonna do to? He could take out one of my guys.
Yeah, and we can still do it with equality.
You can
next
set
turn.
it off next turn. Yeah.
Ah, we got it. We got it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's this deck is so sequencing.
He can't kill one of them.
Yeah. It's so sequencing intensive that it's like, why did you give up? Why didn't you let me cost like Apocalypse? Come on, man. No, I don't think. I think I was one off anyways, 1 mana off.
No, you would have had it.
Okay. Man, I've done this before. I was playing with Apex, and we were sitting there talking about the game, and I'm like playing on kind of on autopilot. This deck you can't on autopilot very well.
Oh yeah.
Because you're sitting there, and I'm like just having a good time with you guys, and it's like, damn it.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. But
Yeah.
Well, there we go, 2-1 with Exodia Paladin. I'd take that all day long. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where this meta is so inconsistent. I'm basically 50-50 all month when I have played, so I'm happy.
This is as Matt at Arms in chat earlier said. This is the board waiting for the nerf meta. So
Yeah.
But. Yep. All right, guys. Well, again, we want to thank Rod for joining us and filling in for Virsica while he's on vacation.
I can't wait to be here next week. Since Virsica's not coming around. I love you, Virsica. I love you, man. Just give me a crap, man.
And you know what? You give Ben a hard time.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying anything bad about Virsica. Like, I'm not saying like I don't like Virsica and that like I suck.
You're not saying anything bad. Just that you're taking his job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking work away from him. He's not like He's not like that's not his like full-time job. I'm not like taking his like family's like income away from him. I'm just taking away his.
Oh, that hero power money! I tell you.
What hero power money?
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, no, I love you, Virsica, and I'm more than happy to fill in for you, sir. So, and thanks again for having me, guys. You guys are a blast. It was a blast doing it. The whole night flew by, and I'm really happy you guys invited me. So,
you're awesome. We appreciate you on the show.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
I looked at your name when we were talking about it, and I thought, why have we not had Rod or Adam on the show? We need to go ahead and get a show scheduled for the both of us. We've done a couple joint episodes with Hearth Coach and Legendary Keeper, Coin Concede. We need to get that scheduled with you guys. We'll put on that.
Yeah, so definitely like in the next next month is like our last real like opportunity to do something, because then I know you guys will be doing what we'll be doing is card previews for the next like most of April or March. So let's try to do something in February or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We have the mighty Grant from Melton's Chosen coming on next week, and then
nice.
So it's booking out some
awesome.
people. So having you guys would be a blast. So
yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. If you have any questions or comments about the deck that we just played or about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so already, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details on joining the patron-only Discord, check out patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.
bye.